going on, college football fans? This is Mike Singer from blueandgold.com here with Greg Holcomb, Chicago-based private quarterback trainer with Next Level Athletix. As you can see behind him there, he's got the nice branding behind him. So, Greg, appreciate you joining us here. So, talking about Drew Allar, a rising quarterback in the 2022 class from Medina, Ohio, ranked as a 3-star by Rivals, but someone who is really shooting up the ranks. Recently invited to the Under Armour All-American game, picked up a ton of new offers. Seems like Penn State and Notre Dame at the very top of his recruitment. So let's pop on his tape, and I'll give you the floor. What do you think about Drew Allar when you watch his tape?
Yeah, I mean, I had to watch about 2 or 3 throws right away. I mean, you can see the movement in the pocket here. Does what we call a pop step, kind of a flip and fire down the field into a tight window. Just a lot of really high-level throws. Great base, great feet. You can see the movement in the pocket, when he's under a little bit of pressure. So he does some nice things with his legs. Has that very twitchy upper body, snappy motion. Like, that's just a great move right there. And then creating space and keeping plays alive. There's a couple sidearm, little slashy throws that he makes in here. I think it's coming up in about 2 throws. So, what you don't see right here is a run right at the front side of his film. It's a lot of just really high level throws. I think this is the sidearm throw. I just love this right here. I just love that. So, you talk about a 3-star, and I would not be surprised if he got a 4th star very quickly. I mean, I'm extremely impressed by him. I think he's just a really high level quarterback. He's obviously got great size. Reminds me kind of, like a Josh Allen. He's a big bodied guy, but can move. He's got some athleticism. And man, I think he's kind of jumped onto the scene, and I just really think he's going to continue to do so. I mean, he's getting the offers that match with his talent level, and some of the attention that he deserves. I've had some DMs with him on social media. He just sounds like a great kid. So I'm glad to see people are recognizing his skill set and some of the things that he brings to the table. And I just look forward to really seeing him just flourish.
Now, you've covered and you have trained a lot of quarterbacks that, are pocket guys, but move and ad-lib very well. Caden Cobb in the 2022 class, J.J. McCarthy, Michigan signee. This is a guy I saw, and I was like, man, I bet Greg would love to train him. So it just seems like he is one of these modern day quarterbacks. You mentioned Josh Allen. Some of what he does seems like Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers. Like, not to compare him with those guys, but it just kind of seems like that's where the game is going with quarterback, and Drew Allar is kind of in that mold.
Certainly. Yeah. He's that kind of, up and coming younger generation movement trait, but still a great thrower kind of quarterback. So yeah, I think you nailed it right there.
Now, looking at some of his schools, Notre Dame, Penn State, seem to be the top 2, like I mentioned earlier. I mean, how high of a ceiling do you feel like Drew Allar has at the next level?
Yeah, I mean, it's all about fit with the program that, he decides to go to, but you can see he's not a stand in the pocket and throw the football around guy. So he's got some movement traits. So I think, any one of those high level college football programs that are recruiting him are going to get a really special kid. If Notre Dame decide, if they happen to get him, or Penn State or whomever, I'm guessing he's just going to continue to get offers. I think he's going to have his pick of the bunch. So, it's obviously the right fit and the right offensive scheme, but some of the things that you're watching him do, and this is as a junior too, he's got another year of high school left. So I'm really impressed by him. I just think he's a really special talent. And kind of, it sounds like a late bloomer. Like, you didn't hear about him a while ago, right? Kind of like Josh Allen. I mean, you didn't hear about him until he got to Wyoming. And not even when he got to Wyoming, it was toward the end of Wyoming. So, yeah, I love Drew Allar. I just love what I see on film, and I just look forward to seeing him continue to just do special things with his arm and legs.
Now, one thing, is he's playing from it. You don't see running backs. This is an empty set, seems like the entire time, Greg. So anything that like is and this is also a highlight tape. Well, I guess there was I form there, but this is a highlight tape, so you're not seeing any interceptions, any bad throws, which is important to mention when you're watching a quarterback. This is all the good things. But is there anything that you see that could be like, all right, he needs to improve on this, or maybe that he's playing from an empty set 100% of the time, or 99% of the time, I should say. Does that raise any concern for him for the next level?
That's a great question. I would guess that he probably takes some chances, right? So, maybe he's a little bit of gunslinger type that takes, some chances on the field. We aren't seeing those, but I'm guessing in this offensive scheme that you're watching, they're relying on him pretty much to do everything from an offensive standpoint. So, I'm assuming, I don't know this for sure, but he probably, takes some risks that he'll probably have to be a little more conservative on. But it's hard to corral a guy like that you're watching just do a lot of special things. So, everybody's got their weaknesses. From a mechanics standpoint, I really like what I see. Like I said, he's got great feet. He keeps his base when he's in the pocket, waiting for his progressions to develop. He moves well vertically and horizontally. And again, we're talking about a pretty good sized kid. So, it doesn't look like he's had to kind of grow into his body and develop physically to be able to move the way he does. He just looks like he's got some natural, very gifted abilities that are going to carry him a long way.
And the last thing on Drew Allar, Greg, is you mentioned the mechanics that you like. It's not a full sidearm, although there was that one throw you mentioned earlier that was certainly sidearm, but it's a little bit more three quarters. Like, from a private quarterback trainer, you're a quarterback guru. Tell us more about his mechanics.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that three-quarter release. I really don't. Tom House put a great post on Twitter the other day that said that you should work within a quarterback's natural throwing motion. And, if that's his natural throwing motion, I'm a firm believer that you kind of leave it alone. You stay with the foundation of what you believe in to be proper mechanics. Listen, there's guys that play at the highest level that don't have perfect mechanics but get the job done really well. So, I wouldn't ding him on the three-quarter release. Maybe that comes to bite him in the rear on occasion from time to time, but overall everything looks compact. He's not dropping the ball down and getting long. He doesn't have a bad ball carriage. He doesn't have sign of some kind of like hitch in his throwing motion. It's a smooth, clean release. But it is a little three-quarter. But again, I'm okay with it.
That's Greg Holcomb, quarterback trainer in Chicago, talking about big-time Under Armour All-American invitee Drew Allar from Medina, Ohio.